Welcome back. Today, we're going to take a tour through the invisible world of the radio spectrum. Think of it like a massive digital highway that all of our devices travel on every single day. We're going to see exactly where everything from your Wi-Fi router to your car's key fob lives. And, more importantly, why they sometimes get stuck in a major traffic jam. And just a quick heads up before we jump in, this is part 4 of a 20-part tutorial called Radio Frequency Interference Beyond Wi-Fi, a consumer guide to common disruptions and frequencies. It's brought to you by RFI Detectives, which is part of the Virtualization Options LLC family. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start by really digging into that crowded highway idea. Then we're going to climb the frequency ladder, starting with the lower frequencies, moving up through the very versatile VHF band, and then hitting the chaotic main event, the UHF band. Finally, we'll get a peek at the high-speed frontier in SHF. Okay, let's get into it. To really wrap your head around interference, the absolute best way to think about the radio spectrum is as this massive, invisible highway system. You know, each frequency band is like a different lane, and it's designated for a specific kind of traffic. The big problem is some of those lanes are getting unbelievably crowded. So, what is this highway exactly? Well, officially, it's the radio frequency spectrum. It's a huge range of electromagnetic waves stretching all the way from 3 kilohertz up to 300 gigahertz. Now, the key thing to get is that most of this is highly regulated. But for our consumer devices, the authorities carve out these very specific unlicensed slices for them to use. And that's where the competition and all the interference really starts. Let's kick off our tour at the bottom of the ladder with the lower frequency bands. Now, most of our common wireless gadgets don't actually live here, but understanding what goes on down here gives us some really important context for electronic noise in general. Down here in the lower frequencies, you've got the LF band, which is often polluted by noise from switching power supplies. Then there's the MF band, home to AM radio, and the HF band for shortwave radio. Here's the crucial takeaway. Even though your gadgets don't transmit here, other poorly designed electronics, I'm talking about those cheap USB chargers, can act like tiny illegal radio stations, just spewing noise into these bands and messing with other equipment. All right, climbing a little higher, we enter the very high frequency band, or VHF. This is kind of like the versatile mid-range. It's a bit more populated, and it's home to some services that are going to sound very familiar. So, VHF covers the range from 30 to 300 megahertz. And its real claim to fame, the reason it's so useful is that it just hits this sweet spot. The signals can travel a pretty good distance, but the antennas you need to pick them up can still be a practical, manageable size. It's a perfect balance.
And you'll find a lot of familiar tech in the VHF band. Your car's FM radio lives here. So did old-school broadcast TV, with the rabbit ears. It's also home to some consumer devices, like certain baby monitors that chatter away at 49 megahertz, and a whole bunch of different remote control gadgets.
All right, buckle up because now we've arrived at the main event. If the radio spectrum is a city, then the ultra-high frequency band, or UHF, is the chaotic, jam-packed, noisy downtown core. This is where most of our stuff lives, and it is ground zero for interference. Spanning from 300 megahertz all the way up to 3 gigahertz, UHF is without a doubt the most congested part of the spectrum for the things we use every single day. Seriously, if you're experiencing some bizarre electronic glitch, there is a very, very high chance that both the cause and the effect are happening right here. I mean, just look at this list. This isn't just a lane on the highway anymore. It's a multi-lane traffic jam at a dead standstill. You've got garage door openers, car key fobs, security systems, smart home gadgets, cordless phones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Even your microwave oven is in here shouting over everybody else in the exact same space. Honestly, it's a miracle any of this works at all. And inside this absolute chaos of the UHF band, there's an epicenter, a ground zero, and that is the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. This one little slice is a total free-for-all. It's home to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, microwaves, more baby monitors. So many gadgets are crammed in here that it's created an unbelievably crowded and interference-prone environment. So, with UHF being such a mess, where do we go from here? Well, let's move up the ladder again to the super high frequency band, or SHF. You can think of this as the new high-speed suburbs of the spectrum. It offers a nice escape from the downtown chaos, but, living out in the suburbs comes with its own set of trade-offs. The SHF band, which runs from 3 to 30 gigahertz, is where you'll find things like modern 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and some of the newer high-end cordless phones. It makes sense, right? As the lower bands got totally saturated, high-speed devices had to move up here to find some clear air to breathe. So what's that trade-off I mentioned? Well, it boils down to a really simple choice. UHF signals are fantastic at traveling long distances and punching right through walls. SHF signals, on the other hand, can't travel nearly as far and get blocked pretty easily, but they deliver much, much higher data speeds. It's that classic dilemma. Do you need range or do you need speed? And that really brings us to our final thought for the day. We've seen how the UHF band has basically become a digital logjam. It's a victim of its own success. Now, SHF offers some relief, but its physical limitations mean it's not a perfect fix for everything. So that leaves us with a huge question. As we keep adding billions and billions more wireless devices to our world, where are they all going to go to communicate? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on the tour.